Our next guest knows how to bring that enthusiasm. He's a true family guy that understands the rules of engagement, especially when it comes to his next role. Coming to us live from where he lives, which is in a sound booth with a microphone, Patrick Warburton. What is up, Pat?
How about some Bose headphones and an iPhone? That's where I'm coming to you from.
Oh, no fancy microphone?
Yeah, no fancy microphone. You can probably tell.
Congrats on the role on this new movie, The Duel. Also, shout out to that mustache. Tom Selleck has got to be even impressed with that look, man. You looking good.
Thanks. It's kind of become a part of me. I grew it for a horror comedy that the Blair Witch people are involved in that we haven't shot. I wore it. I did have it in The Duel, and I thought that Christoph, who is an expert in antiquities and the niche art of dueling, which is illegal, had a mustache. So, no, but listen, Gentry, this is one of those really cool opportunities. It's an independent film that when it was, presented to me and offered, my agent said, take a good look at this because the guys that are making this, we think they're the future of Hollywood. They're very talented. And I'm so glad that I did because, to get a company like Lionsgate, look at your independent film and say, we're going to put that on 500 screens. That's how much we like this. Just to, boost us before streaming is a very cool opportunity and a rare one.
From what I've seen, very funny script, and I love the plot. I've been kind of hearing this cliche all my life that this next generation, soft, they're crippled by their devices. We call them Gen scared. It seems like you take that new school feel of these younger characters, but you take them back to the way things were done with a little gentleman's agreement and some good comedy. It's a great plot.
Yeah, it is. It really is. Yeah, and it works.
Back in our day, we would do maybe some arm wrestling or some pencils, basketball, mama jokes. How would you and your buddies settle a score back in the day?
Well, it very easily could have been, any one of those things. Or, you got to have it out. And having it out it would usually be, a good verbal back and forth. But the stakes are very, very high in this. They're very high. And you see in the film how these two guys can go down this road and make a tragic mistake. But this movie's got everything. I love a good dark comedy because I don't believe anything exists just in, one singular, genre. I think all great movies, have a real balance. One of my favorite films of all time is The Princess Bride. It didn't do well in theaters. They didn't know how to market it. They didn't know whether to market it as an adventure, a love story, or a comedy. And the fact of the matter was, it was all of those things. And that's why it's become the classic that it is, because it works so well on so many different levels,
Check out the movie. It's called The Duel, Gentleman's Rule. It's in select theaters, and you can get your tickets by going to iconicreleasing.com. It's also cool to see Dylan Sprouse all grown up. We remember him from The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, and now he's got his own set of facial hair, and he's a pretty great actor, I think.
He is. He's super. He's great in this. He's really good. All the young men in this, Dylan, Callan, Denny, and Hart are awesome, and all the gals are great. It's a great cast.
I hope you don't take offense to this next question, but you do remind me of many guys I've worked with. I've been in this radio business all my life, and there's always these guys locked in a production room. They've got these great voices. They're doing production and voiceovers, reading the news on the morning show. Were you ever a radio guy? Because you seem like you could be.
Well, I never was, because I was just a strictly live action actor up until, my mid-30s. And that's when I started getting these opportunities to do VO. So I've done a lot of VO over the last, 25 years, I guess, doing both. But I never did anything in radio. I never did anything just strictly with my voice until, I guess it was like Buzz Lightyear, Kronk, Family Guy in the early days. After The Tick didn't go, I ended up doing a show called The Venture Brothers, which to me at the time, and I told Chris McCulloch this, was like a consolation prize. Because The Tick was just genius and inventive. We were ahead of our time. It was a half-hour single-camera comedy that nobody was doing. And when that didn't go, and I worked with Chris McCulloch on The Tick. And he's like, well, he goes, you want to do this cartoon? And I'm like, yeah, I guess. And then, it turned into The Venture Brothers, which had an incredible life. So you never know what's going to hit, what's going to miss. Fortunately, the Tick has had, a great life as, with its cult following. And people still see how kind of special those just 9 episodes were. But the Venture Brothers ended up being the show that had the life.
I did see this I read it on Reddit. People want to know who would win the duel between Brock and the Tick, in your opinion.
Wow. It's still, probably the Tick, and then Brock and the Tick would end up sitting down for a beer. I think they'd get along famously.
One thing that I think has been changing a lot of industries, and we're worried about it here in the voiceover business, is this artificial intelligence. Have you heard some of this content that these machines are cranking out?
Well, a little bit. Are you talking about in the VO? Because, AI can easily, some of the imagery still isn't, perfect or this or that. But, vocally, yes, the AI can just take any voice, I think.
Yeah, it concerns me because we have one of those supercomputers here at the studio that does AI. And so we actually created a AI, Patrick, and we would like to introduce you to it. And I believe it wants to challenge you. Let's go ahead and spin up the supercomputer. Here it is.
Hello, Patrick. This is AI Patrick, and I would like to challenge you to a duel. With a gentleman's agreement, of course. You stand no chance against my hard drive with your soft voice.
Interesting.
Listen to me, you pussy. First off, you still sound like a robot. So bring it.
Don't even think about it. I will chew you up and spit you out like vegetable lasagna.
Yeah, man, this guy really means business.
Yeah, I know. He sounds like he's on autopilot. Yeah, all right. Well, look at AI. AI obviously has a little ways to go. Go back to sleep in your little...
Yeah, I think that you could take him, but I am concerned. I mean, this is the ground floor. Are you concerned that I know that you've had a storied career, very decorated, great voiceover career, but for the next generation coming up, what can we do to save this generation? Because who knows what these things can do in 10 years?
Well, yeah, he's got a ways to go, but it's right. Look, at AI, I think there are applications. Certainly, it's going to be, disruptive, but I think it could be disruptive in the most amazing ways. I think AI is going to help solve so many issues and problems in the realm of medicine. And AI is going to help find the answers to everything from cancer to tinnitus. That's the hope. It's one of those things where if you can't beat them, you join them. And, AI, too, though, it helps us with everything. I don't drive anywhere without my Waze app now. I just don't. So I've become a bit of a moron where I used to be able to find my way anywhere in the vast sprawl of Los Angeles. And now I've always got to have my Waze app. What we don't want, AI to do is to start controlling us, help us. But, once there's such an integration, that's my fear, is that it literally could start controlling us and making every decision in the world for us. And we don't want that,
Turn our brains into mush. We definitely don't want that. I'm curious, you still jamming with the bearded pearl clams? You guys still kicking it?
No, we're not doing that. We're not doing that right now. We might do that again, yes. But we're not doing it right now, currently.
What instrument do you play? Do you sing with those velvet pipes?
I just sing. I have a song on Spotify called Goddess of the Rain that I did with this great band based in Washington, D.C. called Burn the Ballroom. They were huge Venture Brothers fans. They wanted to do a song together, and we did. It's got, I think, like close to 3 million hits on Spotify. But, Goddess of the Rain, check that out.
What's your favorite Pearl Jam song of all time?
Oh, that's so hard. There's so many. You can't pick one. It's like, being having a family of 12 kids. Who's your favorite kid? I love them all. On different albums and throughout the years, there's so many different ones. I loved Release on 10. Of course, Black is an all-time favorite. But look at that. A debut album that has that, Porch, Even Flow, Alive. It's just such a phenomenal. I love, Come Back, Yellow Ledbetter, Wish List, a song Mike McCready wrote called Inside Job. It's a very powerful song. I love Eddie Vedder. Come on. he's Bob Dylan with the voice of Eddie Vedder, and he is just, he's our Jen when it comes to, that rock front man who's so diverse. Whether you look at his, Into the Wild soundtrack or his ukulele album, it's just such a phenomenal talent. So I've been preaching the gospel of Eddie Vedder and Pearl Jam for 30 years now.
Yeah, I hope rock and roll makes a comeback. But again, I'm concerned with the new generation. We talk about AI. Nobody wants to put in their 10,000 hours. Nobody wants to get along with 4 other guys and jam in a band. It really takes work to learn an instrument. I play the guitar, and I'm not very good at it, and I've spent a lot of time playing it. So you got to put in work to rock.
Yeah.
One other question before we let you go. When you're getting these roles like Kronk or Joe Swanson and these voices, these inflections that you do in this character you've come up with all these guys is incredible and remarkable. But are these characters that you come up with the voice, or is a producer or director guiding you? Is it a collaboration? Is it all you? How does that work?
Well, it's a collaboration. But listen, not to say you can't take direction, but when you go in and if you're doing something, you have to create a voice. You have to show them what the character sounds like. And then they're like, that's it. They trust you. And they just let you run with it. So as long as you have fun and, explore in the realm of this character, there's no right or wrong. You're constantly creating, and they're constantly picking or choosing and saying, yeah, we like that take or we like that take. But it's not, when you create a character voice like Kronk or say Joe in Family Guy, you're never hearing, no, this is not what Joe would sound like. Well, don't tell me what Joe sounds like. I know what Joe sounds like. You know what I'm saying? But they wouldn't anyways, You find the character, and then that character actually, informs, the writers of, they have the character in their head. Oh, this would be funny if he said this. It would be funny if he said that.
Well, you nailed them. Another question, this came in from a fan. They want to know, are you a real Devils fan? Do you love the New Jersey Devils?
Oh, I absolutely do. It's weird how things come about. I was born in Paterson, New Jersey. I left when I was 3, but as they say, you can take the boy out of Jersey. But through that episode we did of Seinfeld, they adopted me. They put me on the Trinitron in front of every game. I'm like their unofficial mascot. So they took me on. I took them on. I love the Devils. I always love to see them do well. They're my team. I got 2 teams. I got the Kings. I grew up going to Kings games every now and then with my buddy down the street. So I saw, Rogie Vachon and Marcel Dion play back in the day. So, those are my 2 teams. Yes.
All right, Patrick. Well, we're going to see you on the Field of Honor, The Duel. It's a gentleman's rule in select theaters. If you want to get your tickets to see the movie, iconicreleasing.com. Thanks for being so generous with your time, and we'll be seeing you on the big screen. We'll see you at the movies.
We'll see you then. Looking forward to it.